and gentlemen, good day and welcome to DCM Shriram Limited, the Q2 FY23 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Siddharth Rangnekar from CDR India. Thank you, and over to you, Mr. Rangnekar.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on DCM Shriram Limited's Q2 and H1 FY23 earnings conference call. Today we have with us Mr. Ajay Shriram, Chairman and Senior Managing Director, Mr. Vikram Shriram, Vice Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. K.K. Kaul, Whole-Time Director, and Mr. Amit Agarwal, CFO of the company. We shall commence with opening remarks from Mr. Ajay Shriram and Mr. Vikram Shriram. Members of the audience will get an opportunity to pose their queries to the management following these comments during the interactive question and answer session. Before we begin, please note that some of the statements made on today's call could be forward-looking in nature, and a note to that effect has been included in the conference call invite circulated earlier. I would now like to invite Mr. Ajay Shriram to give us a brief overview. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Siddharth. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being part of our Q2 and H1 financial year 2023 earnings conference call. I wish to take this opportunity to convey our festive greetings to each one of you ahead of Diwali. I will commence with perspectives on industry dynamics and the associated strategic imperatives for us. I shall be followed by Vikram with a discussion on operating and financial performance. Today, the world is witnessing historically high inflation, and fears of recession are around the corner. Interest rates are rising, US dollar continues to strengthen, and is a cause of concern for net importing countries. Along with this, the geopolitical environment is very unstable, and the climate continues to pose new challenges. Our businesses are operating in a tough and unpredictable economic environment. We have managed to evolve and manage the situation well with a forward-looking approach, dynamic control on costs, inherent strength in the business model, and on the financials. Our investment in capacity building, better integration, cost efficiency, innovation, and value creation are all aimed at driving business momentum while limiting the negative impact of such a volatile operating environment. The rupees 3,500 crore capex is on schedule and will lead to substantial enhancements in our reported results in the coming year. In line with the desire to be more sustainable, we are pursuing projects which will enhance resource conservation, increase use of green energy, lower energy usage, and further encourage the circular economy we are already having. Some of these initiatives are underway and will bear fruits in the coming years. Currently, we are 11 times water positive, and 34% of the total energy consumed in our operations is green. With this, I would now like to walk you through the perspectives on our various businesses. First, I'll cover chemicals. Global capacity utilization in chlor-alkali is at a low level given higher energy costs and moderation in construction activities. Consequently, India has stepped up exports with H1 financial year 23 net exports at 1.39 lakh metric tons versus 0.13 lakh metric tons in the same period last year. Average import prices are range bound around $650 per metric ton during Q2 financial year 23. The energy prices that form significant part of the cost of production continue to be firm. We expect the prices of caustic soda will support high input costs and negative chlorine prices, leading to reasonable margins. A lot will also depend upon expected recessionary pressure across the world in coming months. Work on growth initiatives continues with additional 120 megawatt captive power plant getting online by December 22 and the aluminum chloride expansion at the Bharuch complex getting operational within this financial year. We are building value-creating businesses in the form of epichlorohydrin and hydrogen peroxide, and these will see commissioning in the early part of the financial year 24. The 50 megawatt green power supply will be fully operational from Q2 financial year 24. Vinyls. Globally, PVC faced demand pressures leading to prices reaching sub-$1,000 per metric ton levels. China is pushing its production to India, and we have made representation to the government and are awaiting decision on anti-dumping duty and customs duty on PVC. At these price levels, our PVC operations are suboptimal. Carbide prices have also witnessed a decline quarter on quarter, but continue to give reasonable margins, and hence production is being optimized given the flexibility in the business model. It is important here that globally, lower PVC demand results in lower chlor-alkali capacity utilization. On an overall basis, we continue to earn reasonable margins. Sugar. Globally, sugar output and consumption is expected to be balanced in the coming season, and India will continue to play a major role in trade like in this year. India has exported a record approximately 11 million metric tons sugar this year without any subsidy from the government, and with a closing sugar inventory being of approximately 6 million tons. International sugar prices are expected to remain firm, and Indian mills in West and South should benefit from exports. In the next sugar season, India's sugar production can be expected at 36 million metric tons, consumption at approximately 27.5 million metric tons, and we will have close to 8 million metric tons available for exports. The UP sugar industry needs a balanced government policy for sugar export as well as cane juice blended ethanol to remove regional imbalances with Maharashtra. We expect to start our crushing operations from first week of November. Our growth initiatives are on track to build capacities, further integration, and further value capture from the distillery ash. These projects will get commissioned in Q3 financial year 23 and will add to earnings in the coming season. Our potassium sulfate project from distillery ash is coming up in a subsidiary and will be commissioned by Q1 financial year 24. Now I cover the agri businesses which comprise of Shriram Farm Solutions, Bioseed and Fertilizer. The monsoon played a critical role in performance of these businesses, and also witnessing a shortfall in Q1, there has been above average rainfall across regions, especially in South and Central India. Shriram Farm Solutions is increasingly becoming research-based across its verticals of seeds, specialty plant nutrition and crop care, with key focus on products that can sustain climate change, optimize nutrition, along with supporting life cycle of current products. It has its research center in Ludhiana, Punjab. During the quarter, the business launched 5 new products, including 2 products from its own R&D. It is also setting up manufacturing facilities of biofertilizers and water-soluble fertilizers. All this augurs well for growth of this business. Bioseed is repositioning its product strengths to farmers and enhancing its portfolio. The product pipeline is strong. The performance of India business improved during the quarter. We believe that this business should turn around over the period of next 2 years. Fertilizer consumption stabilized after the shutdown in Q1 financial year 2023. We are continuously improving our energy consumption that adds to better performance. Subsidy outstandings have increased significantly as a result of high gas prices and requires better support from the government. Fenesta, I am happy to share that we are now entering the glass facade business, which will be an added growth driver. The fabrication shop for the glass facade business is being set up in Hyderabad. This existing business is witnessing good growth momentum. This is in line with enhanced footprint and the wider range of our portfolio, both within UPVC and in system aluminum products. The windows and doors business is seeing traction in our project segment too, where we are seeing volume and pricing growth. Our new windows and doors fabrication units has been commissioned at Bhubaneswar and will augment our presence in that part of India. The investments and initiatives we have been making across businesses towards integration, scale, innovation, resource mobilization, and sustainability are delivering intended positive outcomes. The enhancements underway will result in better performance and strength and will give further strength to the earning profile. I will now request Vikram to take you through the operating and financial performance.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I will take you through the financial highlights for our Q2 and H1 financial year 23 results. The net revenues, net of excise duty this quarter, were up 28% year-on-year at rupees 2,740 crores. This was led by better prices and volumes across all businesses segments, excepting vinyl, where prices and volumes both came lower. Chlor-alkali business revenues were up 62% year-on-year at rupees 781 crores, led by ECU that was up 74% year-on-year, along with other product prices. Capacity utilization levels were reasonable at 87 versus 90%. Vinyl's revenue were down 53% year-on-year at rupees 155 crores, led by volumes which was lower due to power availability and maintenance shutdown. PVC prices were down by 32% year-on-year, and carbide prices were down 9%. The sugar business revenues, net of excise duty, were up 5% year-on-year at rupees 617 crores on account of better sugar realizations by approximately 100 rupees per quintal. Sugar volumes were almost the same at 12.5 lakh quintals, whereas ethanol volumes were lower at 205 lakh liters versus 260 lakh liters last year. Ethanol volumes on half-year basis were up almost similar. In the agri inputs, all businesses reported strong revenues. SFS increased 33% year-on-year at rupees 238 crores, witnessing price and volume growth across most product categories. Bioseed increased 13% year-on-year at rupees 88 crores, with India business reporting revenues of 60 crores, increasing by 8% year-on-year, and international business reporting revenues of 28 crores, increasing 26% year-on-year. Fertilizers saw a 99% year-on-year increase in revenues at rupees 585 crores. Price realization for the quarter increased by 88% year-on-year on account of higher gas prices, which is a pass-through. Natural gas prices for Q2 financial year 23 were at $24 per MBT versus $12 per million BTU last year. It is important to mention that increase in energy prices increases the top line and the subsidy burden without significantly changing in bottom line and therefore lower overall margins for the company because of interest costs. Fenesta delivered revenues of rupees 178 crores that increased 37% year-on-year, led by volumes in project segment and higher prices. The order book also increased by 6% year-on-year. Coming to profitability, in Q2 financial year 23, PBDIT stood at rupees 302 crores, down by 3% year-on-year, despite cost pressures. The performance was primarily supported by chemicals, agri inputs, and Fenesta segments. Chemicals PBDIT at rupees 250 crores versus rupees 108 crores during Q2 financial year 22, led by higher product prices in spite of higher energy costs and salt costs. In vinyl, the PBDIT was at negative 10 crores versus rupees 156 crores positive during the same period last year, led by lower volumes and lower prices of PVC. Energy and carbon prices continue to be much higher. At these prices of energy and carbon material, PVC is marginally positive at contribution level. Carbide continues to be reasonably profitable. The sugar business PBDIT at negative rupees 15 crores, primarily being an off-season and higher cost of last year's sugar inventory. Non-availability of C molasses also dragged down the earnings. Also, there was an additional charge relating to previous periods amounting to rupees 15 crores on account of revision in wages with effect from October 2018, as well as increase in molasses quota from 18 to 20% for sugar season 21-22, which also was a one-time charge in that 15 crores. Agri-inputs businesses reported better numbers for the reasons stated earlier. Fenesta PBDIT was at rupees 36 crores, registering a growth of 97% respectively, led by volumes and prices. For the half year FY23, net revenues, net of excise, were up 36% year-on-year at rupees 5,591 crores, and PBDIT was up 25% year-on-year at rupees 766 crores. Growth was seen across all business segments. With robust cash flows across our businesses, our debt levels remain at comfortable levels, with surplus net debt as on 30th September 22 at rupees 35 crores versus net debt of 4 crores as on 31st March 2022. Return on capital employed for September 22 came in higher at 36% versus 26% for September 21. This is despite higher subsidy outstanding in urea as well as higher sugar inventory versus the same period last year. The board has recommended an interim dividend of 230%, amounting to rupees 71.7 crores. Overall, we have delivered yet another good performance in the backdrop of an uncertain macro environment and despite challenges faced in certain businesses, particularly on the cost side, with the energy costs. With our investments on track and a strong balance sheet and cash flows, we look forward to a healthy and sustainable growth going forward. While closing, I would like to convey to you my festive greetings for Diwali. We will now take the questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Neelam Saha from Ventura Securities Limited. Please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Congrats on a good set of numbers.
Thank you.
So, my question is, some of your capacity data is in TPD format. As per you, what is the suggestible number of days I should multiply it with to get annual capacity data?
Generally, we look at approximately 330 days. 330 to 335 days can give you an idea of what is the annual expected production level.
Okay. And if I'm not wrong, then your PVC compound comes from your PVC resin business, right?
Sorry?
Your PVC compound comes from your PVC resin, right?
From the PVC, we make PVC compound was a joint venture business which we had with Westlake for the last 5 years, and we bought out the share from Westlake, and now this is a 100% subsidiary of DCM Shriram Limited.
And its raw material comes from the PVC resin business, right?
It comes from our PVC business as well as comes from outside. We buy some material from outside also, where we require different grades of PVC for making particular types of PVC compounds.
Okay. So is there any certain percentage of your PVC resin that you send to PVC compound and certain percentage that you sell? Or how the decision making is done?
I'm sorry, could you kindly repeat that?
Okay. Is there a certain percentage of your PVC resin that you send to PVC compound and certain percentage that you send outside? I just wanted to know how much of it gets transferred to PVC compound.
Let me put it this way. I think the amount we send to a PVC compounding plant would be maybe 10% or 15% of our monthly production.
Less than
Or even less than 10% because we buy material from outside also. So, and we sell approximately 90% plus minus in the open market, PVC. Our total PVC production, around 90% we sell in the market and around 10% we use in our PVC compounding because we buy from Formosa Plastics also and other people for our PVC compounding plant. Where we require particular grades of PVC.
Okay, understood. Thank you and have a happy Diwali.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ahmed Mad from Unifi Capital. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. Am I audible?
Yes, please. Yeah.
So my first question was regarding the caustic export volume. So if I look at the sequential numbers, they have more than doubled. Right? So how should we interpret this number? Is this because of lower domestic demand, or we see better realization in exports, or we are setting up the export markets now so that when next year the new capacity comes up, we can export significant quantities? How should we look at those numbers?
See, it's a good question. See, I think it's multiple reasons. One of the reasons is that in Europe, because of energy prices being high, their production has come down. So demand has arisen. Because of that, we are able to export caustic as I said, we've gone up to 1.39 lakh tons compared to 0.13 in the corresponding period first 6 months of the last financial year and this financial year. So this is opened up as an opportunity. And of course, the prices are also satisfactory compared to the Indian situation. And you're right, Indian plants are also coming up. So if we get an opportunity to expand, it sort of puts less pressure on the domestic market. So we are looking at exports and wanting to grow that.
Okay. So should we assume that going forward, our export volumes will be close to 20% of total sales?
I'm not sure it will be close to 20% of total sales. I think that is a little high. You see, all these things depend so much on what is the market position in the export market and the domestic market. I think it's a swing which happens. Yes, what India is trying to do is a couple of the large aluminium manufacturers, whether it's Vedanta or a couple of others on the east side, who used to import caustic soda. The industry is trying to get into contracts with them. And rather than their importing caustic soda, Indian manufacturer will supply caustic soda. So that will then put less pressure on the domestic market. So we are working on that direction. Exports at the moment is gone at 1.39 lakh tons in the first 6 months, and we are attempting to increase it. But it depends a lot on the market. Hello.
Does that answer your question, Mr. Ahmed?
So I'm repeating again. So if we look at the new caustic capacity, which is coming up in Q1 or Q2 of next year, how will the ramp-up of this capacity will be?
See, the ramping up is happening. There are new plants coming up. So that is going to add to the total capacity. I mean, India's capacity will reach almost 70 lakh tons. If you take the next 3 months or 4 months, it's coming in. But I think everyone at the moment, because of the demand, especially for chlorine demand is fairly low, and that is sort of pegging the manufacturing levels of the chlor-alkali plants. So it depends a lot on the chlorine, how that moves, and that will determine what will be the capacity utilization of the plants. Today, everyone is a little apprehensive because of chlorine prices. And chlorine prices, as you may be knowing, is going in the negative. It's almost minus 10,000 rupees per ton of chlorine. So that is having an impact on the total caustic soda chlorine production.
Okay. Got it. So coming back to the chlorine part and the PVC part, so this quarter we had minus 15 crore EBIT loss. Now, if we assume that your volumes will ramp up because the breakdown in cost has been restored, so does that mean that we will break even or there will be a negative contribution margin?
See, PVC is difficult to say because as you are saying, internationally, PVC prices also have become soft over the last couple of months. That's having an impact, as I mentioned, it's come to sub $1,000 per metric ton. It was about $970. And going forward, we'll have to see how it moves because China demand has also come down. Europe demand has come down. In America, because of the high inflation and interest costs, the economy is pulling back. The housing sector is not doing as well. So all that has reduced the demand for PVC.
Got it. Finally, on the sugar business, so
Pardon me?
we have on the
What? Could you kindly repeat that? Which business?
Yeah, I'm talking about sugar business.
Sugar.
Yeah. See, so my question was that...
May I request you to kindly come closer to your mic? We can't hear you properly.
Am I audible?
Yeah, that's better. Thanks.
Yeah. So my question is that in the sugar business, we have some high-cost inventory from last quarter, right? So with cane prices further revised upward and domestic sugar price is not going up, how do you look at the sugar business margins? That's first part. And the second part is with increase in the sugar capacity by 4,000 TCD, does this mean that we have sufficient molasses for our 350 KLPD ethanol production? Those two questions.
Yeah. So just to answer your first question in terms of carrying the inventory, so we currently have about 14.6 lakh quintals of sugar inventory, which is at about 3,300 is the cost. So, the prices have been reasonably good. However, they have not been able to cover the increased cost, the cane cost and the consumables cost which happened in the last season. So, the only good part in sugar is that because the exports are happening, the inventory is at reasonable levels. So sugar prices are expected to remain stable or depending on how the export prices are, it might inch up a little bit. But we don't see the prices coming off from current levels. That is point one. Also, just to add that, whatever investment we are doing into sugar, where we are increasing our refining capacity, now that's going to add straight away about 80 rupees to 90 rupees per quintal to our margins. Along with, the ethanol capacity, the green wheat ethanol capacity we are putting in. All in all, the way you need to look at our sugar business is that we are looking to grow volumes, not just in sugar, but we are complementing the volumes with ethanol, with value adding on sugar through refinery, with getting into, the products like sulfate of potash, which is from waste, and we continue to look at it. So that's our thought process. Near term, plus minus, will continue. But I think as a strategy, we will grow well in this business.
Got it. And on the molasses part, if you can answer.
Pardon me? Molasses. What was your question, if you can repeat?
Yeah. So my question was that with 4,000 incremental TCD capacity coming up this season, do we have sufficient molasses for our 350 KLPD ethanol production capacity?
Yeah, so our existing capacity is 350 KLD on C molasses basis. On B molasses, it is about 450 KLD. And so we are short of molasses as for the entire season. We are short by about 15%. Now, if you remember when we were putting up, when we announced this project of 120 KLD grain-based distillery, there the tandem that we are putting is 260 KLD grain. So the strategy is that we will be able to process grain to meet up the shortfall to some extent, not fully although, but to some extent, we'll fill up the shortfall in the availability of molasses to the extent of 15% of the existing capacity. I hope I have made myself clear.
Yeah, got it. Thank you so much. That's it from my side. I'll get back in the queue.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Saket Kapoor from Kapoor and Company. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Namaskar, sir, and thank you for this opportunity.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Namaskar, sir, and thank you, sir, for this opportunity firstly. Sir, as in your opening comments, you did mention about correlation between PVC and the caustic prices. So, if you could dwell slightly more into it, how historically has been the correlation with now PVC prices on a continuous slide over the last one quarter? What should now be the impact on the caustic? Are the dynamics aligned, or are the geographies totally different this time, sir?
See, the way it works and the correlation that CMD sir was talking about is essentially that when the construction activity is low, and we all know globally construction activities come down given the high interest rates, and therefore the PVC consumption goes down. And the key ingredient or one of the key raw material for PVC manufacturing is chlorine. And therefore once the chlorine goes down, which means the operating levels of global chlor-alkali plants are coming down. Which again, as a consequence, the caustic available is little less globally. And therefore the prices have gone up. So if you see global prices, which have gone down to close to about 500, 550, I would say at the beginning of, let's say in the month of July, now they are at about $750 a level. So that some exact correlation is difficult to give you, but then, those are some of the factors which help supporting the prices of caustic.
But sir, if we take that into aspect, for if the negative chlorine which currently the glut because of more chlorine there in the market, that will not be allowing the caustic players to run at optimum levels going ahead. So that would directly put pressure on the utilization levels, and hence the profitability for the domestic players would also be going down. However, exports may support the volume offtake, but the glut in chlorine needs no management rather than lower utilization levels. So that understanding is correct, sir?
What you're saying is right. There is glut in chlorine, and going forward, at least for the new plants, I'm sure it will affect the operating rates. For the existing plants, it's okay, and therefore for the new plants to ramp up, my sense it will be a little slower than what would have been the expectation. But for the existing plants, it should be okay. Like for currently, we are operating at almost 95% capacity utilization for existing plants.
Okay.
I'd like to just add that ultimately chlorine demand is also growing because a lot of our customers are also expanding. With this China plus one story, plus the whole chemical export story from India, a lot of our customers are also under expansion mode. So there may be temporary, for some quarters or some period, there may be a mismatch. But the expansion in demand is also expected to be strong.
Right, sir. Correct on that part. So it will be transitory in nature going ahead. This period has been maintained. Correct. Sir, as in the graph, that the ECU realization for us was also flat for this quarter. So the upward trend in the caustic soda prices have been post the end of the September quarter, or it was mentioned as August the prices started moving up. Then why were our realizations lower? Or was this negative chlorine impact the reason for the same?
So see, if you see the graph, there's already in the international prices there's an uptick from 593 in August to $675 in September, and as I mentioned, it's already reached about $740, $750. Then our prices also on ECU basis have gone up.
And currently the prices are in the vicinity of $750. This is what
The international prices, yes.
Oh, okay. Right, sir. I'll come back in the queue, sir, for the follow-up, and best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Pratiksha Daftari from Equitas Investment. Please go ahead.
So, if you could just quantify the impact of breakdown in the captive power plant and how much of the the losses that we've reported, how much of that could be attributed, higher cost could be attributed to the power plant?
This is of the terms of the breakdown in Kota power plant.
Yes.
How much can be attributed to that loss?
So, because of the breakdown Kota power plant, EC6, which was there for almost 3.5 months, the total loss would be in the range of around 25 to 30 crores for this period.
Okay, understood. And so it would just in the presentation we've seen that the international prices have gone up, but the domestic prices for caustic, even adjusting for the chlorine, hasn't really moved up. So is there anything particular in the domestic market that is impacting the caustic dynamics? Demand slowdown or anything?
I'll put it this way. I think one, there's always a time lag because you have contracts already which are there.
Okay.
So that's one. And secondly, also, I think it depends a lot on supply demand. There may be some, international deals which are done at a higher price, but ultimately the average price in India, we are actually happy that it's at least stable. It is looking that way for this quarter. And the price impact also happens after a little time lag. So it can't happen overnight.
So is it fair to assume that the caustic prices have gone up, say in October vis-a-vis September for domestic market for us?
Marginally they've gone up, but unfortunately chlorine prices have gone down further.
Okay, and chlorine you said negative 10,000 a ton vis-a-vis about 4,000 to 5,000.
Approximately, yeah, it moves approximately that, but depends deal to deal. But approximately it's around that much, plus minus.
Okay. Any particular change in demand outlook in the domestic industry, especially from alumina, textile, and paper?
I think touch wood, the domestic demand is quite stable and moving well.
Okay, so basically the capacity utilization is being the constraint is only chlorine utilization, not demand.
But chlorine is a major factor which is impacting definitely. There is no doubt on that. That is having an impact. But I think world economy, we are seeing the geopolitics of the world, and that is affecting each industry in a different way. So what's happening today, something may be more positive tomorrow or a little less positive tomorrow. We can't comment or commit anything going forward. But at least it looks like in India, the caustic soda, chlorine balance and demand as we are moving today will continue for the quarter.
Okay. On the sugar segment front, these rains of late, the recent rains, has that impacted the crop in UP?
So it's a little early to say. See, sugarcane is a very hardy crop. So however, the real impact will have to be seen.
Okay. And if you could just share the cost of inventory valuation for as on 30th September for the 14.7 lakh quintals?
About 3,308 per quintal.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 now.
How many? 70.
The next question is from the line of Pratik Tolia from Systematics. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Just wanted to just check what was the chlorine prices during the quarter. If you have answered that, I actually missed that.
The average prices, Pratik, were around 6,600 for the quarter. Minus. And currently, as we mentioned, it's about 9 to 10,000 minus.
9 to 10,000. Okay. I just wanted to clarify that.
The issues are good. At issue level, the prices are good.
Okay. And sir, are you seeing any benefits from this Europe plus one? A lot of talks happening on that front. Of course, the exports are slightly going up, but do you see any long-term benefits of this Europe plus one theme, the way, China plus one has played out in some of the other chemicals? Can that happen in our caustic soda as well?
I think it's difficult to say because of geopolitics. You see, energy prices in Europe are going so high that factories are closing down. They're not able to operate. Chlor-alkali plants are closed down because in a chlor-alkali plant, the basic raw material is power. Almost 65-70% of the cost of production is power. So that's why it's fluctuating. It's very difficult to give any commitment of how it will move forward. China is also having its own problem because of COVID and because of various other factors. So, frankly speaking, in these sort of products where the geopolitics is unstable, the energy prices are moving in a manner which has been unprecedented. We've never seen this level of energy costs. It is having an impact on the economy worldwide across the board.
Sure. And then lastly, on Fenesta, in your opening remarks, you mentioned about the glass facade. If you could just, elaborate a little more in terms of by when we'll start and what sort of, numbers we can expect in the initial quarters.
Yeah. So, the commissioning will start in the early part of next year. So for the machines and everything to arrive, will take about a year. So, yeah, less than a year. So we should be starting early next year.
You mean calendar year?
No, the financial year.
Financial. Okay. And so what sort of numbers can we expect from there?
So see, it will take time to settle the market. It will be a slow start, but we should, pick up in next. Yeah.
And the margins should be comparable with our existing Fenesta margins, upwards of 18%, 15 to 18%.
The EBITDA margins?
Yeah.
Yeah, so EBITDA margins are in the range of around 14-15%.
Okay. Understood. Yeah, that's it from my side, and wishing the team a very happy Diwali. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, and same to you and your family. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you. Participants who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 now.
I think so. No one has been. I've seen it.
Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may press star and 1 now. Ladies and gentlemen, as this was the last question for today, I now hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your participation on Q2 Financial Year 23 earnings conference call. We will continue to work on our strategic direction of growing our businesses using scale, multiple revenue streams, enhancing efficiencies, furthering innovation, and moving further on a circular economy and sustainability. We will also ensure that the balance sheet and cash flows remain strong. We are conscious of our responsibility towards the environment, towards community welfare, and our employees, who are the true assets of the company. We believe in working towards planet, people, and profits together. We thank you for taking our time during the onset of the festive season, and we take this opportunity to wish you and your families very safe and happy Diwali and a healthy and prosperous year ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you. On behalf of DCM Shriram Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.